Sure, Keith's on, so I'll just smile. We might be live. I'm pretty sure we're live. I can't see anything, but hey, for everyone watching right now, pretty sure we're live.
And especially for those who aren't.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
We'll get syndicated. That's where all the views come in.
That's right. So, here I am. Oh, now I have a nice picture-in-picture view. We're getting there. There we go. I think we're on. I think I've done it. I'm going to remove this. Well, folks, welcome to NFT Action News. As you can see, I am not LeftHouse. I am the Penguin VA, also known as Jason. Left is enjoying a nice day in the mountains today, so he is taking the day off, asked me to guest host. He will be gone tomorrow as well. And we've got the great Sensei Bolrog, or Bolraj as Left would call him, hosting tomorrow. But for today, we have lots of exciting stuff. And of course, I'd love to introduce the person who is on the screen to my right. We have from MASTERBREWS, the one, the only, Various. Keith, how are you?
Well, I'm pretty upset, Penguin, that your Penguins defeated my Ducks last night. Yeah. But other than that, I'm doing great.
Well, we're gonna lose everyone with hockey talk immediately.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fellow Canadians, if there's any.
yeah. Shout out to the fellow Canadians or fellow North Americans, not North Americans, Americans who live in the north of the United States of America. Okay, so we are going to talk quite a few things today. For those of you who don't know, MASTERBREWS is one of the companies I work for. They put together some amazing projects like WHELPS, which I think some of you are quite familiar with. We have our very own LeftHouse as an honorary whelp. And then we also have the Heroes and Villains project, which is by the great Mark McKenna, a DC and Marvel artist. And so that is something that we are really, really proud of. And we're going to have, we're going to highlight some great information from both those projects today. I'm going to do a little self-promotion as well, talking about my own podcast. You can see behind me, I've got my Nearly Fresh Topics screen. Keith, I think we're getting a bit of echo. Do you have a pair of headphones?
I do not. I can't stand headphones.
Fair enough.
It's supposed to be noise canceling though, but and it is pretty silent in here.
Yeah, we're all good.
It could be the storm behind me. I mean, it is kind of the end of the world.
That's right. Yeah, the end of the world, and we need to, well, we'll go quickly in case that storm comes right away. So, hello everybody in the chat. Hello Stoned Rabbit. Hello Charbo. Hello Polly. Hello Medina. Hello everybody. I'm so glad you could all make it. Hello Recurrier. Yes, it is noise. You can be sure that if I'm around, it's just going to be primarily noise. Wayfinder, welcome. Good to see you. Good to put a name to the nickname. All right, I'm going to try to share some information about WHELPS Slipstream, but the last time I did that, it caused my computer to freeze, so we'll see.
While you do that, I'll say hello to everyone now that I see the people popped up in chat.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Which screen? Oh, good. For a second, I thought it was just going to share an entire screen without letting me vet what it was going to share. That could have been a problem.
We don't want to know what your other tabs are, Jason.
That's right. Exactly. So here we are at WHELPS Slipstream. WHELPS Slipstream is something I'm incredibly excited about, and I'm sure you are as well. But I would be remiss to be the one talking about it since you're the expert. You're the one here. What can you tell us about WHELPS Slipstream?
So a lot of you, if you've taken a look at the page or perhaps any of our information about it, you'll see that basically we're trying to build Mario Kart with dragons. It's the simplest way to say it. And it's something where, Crash Bandicoot Racing, Spyro, all that kind of vibe and feel is what's going into this game. It is going to be a AAA title, so meaning it is, initially going to be downloadable on PC. It's not going to be a browser game. It's not going to be a mobile game. It's going to be something where you play it with the full, visual experience. And there is potential we might port it to a console in the future. Maybe, in my mind, it matches up perfectly with the Nintendo Switch. We are working with a studio who has experience putting quite a few titles on PlayStation. So that's really the type of game we're going for. It's not what people would consider a blockchain game per se. It's a video game first and foremost, leveraging the power of the blockchain and leveraging NFTs into it.
Very cool. Yeah, I like that distinction, that it's a video game first, because I know that's something we're really proud of, is the time and effort that's going into this. And, as I think you've often said, there's really no point in building a game that nobody's going to want to play.
Yeah, because people will use, games that are a click and earn type chore. They'll do it for the money, but that's not what we want to present our community or ourselves. Like I know, and I think you share this and the rest of the team does, my motto is kind of build something I would enjoy playing and then hope other people share, the same enjoyment. If I don't like it, I will not build something just for the money aspect. And I think we've proved that MasterBREWS, for example, even back in the heyday, last summer, we could have been pumping out projects, making a fortune. We tried to work very carefully, though, with certain clients, projects we thought we enjoyed, whether we were right or wrong, whether they succeeded or not. We've never been people that are just about the money, because there are so many cash grabs in this industry, and we don't feel we need to contribute to that, and we won't contribute to that. So all that circles around to make a game that's a real game, a fun game, a game people like, and then tie in tokenomics and the play-to-earn aspect. And that's what we're doing with this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite enjoyable. It's quite, I think we're ahead of our time, really. It's funny, in this space, those of us who are in this space and live and breathe this space kind of go, oh, we're no longer brand new, or we're no longer on the cutting edge. But the reality is we're so incredibly early into this space that I don't think, I think this kind of game is quite unique. I think it's ahead of its time, as I said, in some ways, because of just how
I think the genre was very heavily considered as well, because obviously in a fantasy realm, fantasy lore, a lot of people expected some form of RPG, whether that's turn-based, action-based, etc., or they were just looking for a metaverse, which is what hypes a lot of people up. But we thought, A, that's very saturated. B, it doesn't mean much when you say blockchain RPG anymore, because there's so many different variations on it that the quality level can go from 0 to 99, and it skews typically towards the bottom. So we really thought that racing was something. Again, going back to Mario Kart, it's such an addictive type of game, but in a fun way. You don't feel it's a chore, and it allows us to have kind of an infinite expansion. We can always be adding new courses, new characters. Even if we want to collab with people in the future and involve characters from other collections, that's something really easy to do. We don't have to, so to speak, plan out how that would affect storylines months in advance. It's something where this can be, even cosmetic skin DLC style can be released literally on a weekly basis, monthly basis, whatever we choose. Right. So I feel like the game gives us a lot of freedom, and freedom's important when we're just, still in infancy here. And aside from that, we thought this would appeal to people and stand out and be unique, which has always been a driving force behind WHELPS, even since its initial minting concept. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And even that initial minting concept, which for anybody who's not familiar, was the evolution, the first on-chain evolution. as far as we're aware, that ever existed. So essentially, your whelp went through 5 different versions, 5 different iterations as it grew from an egg all the way up to a full-grown adult.
Yeah. So, here, this is a great thing to bring up. This is the concept art. Notably, it's the very, very initial first sketches, but this is what will be the basis for turning it into, full 3D renders by the time it's done. And this is just the, I guess you'd call it, storyboard animation process that professional design studios go through. So these are 3 of the 7 breeds which will be in the game. And we're promised, our studio's committed to delivering once a week, whatever the fresh update is. Now, some weeks might be a minor update, some might be a major update, but we're going to share those updates every single week with the community and keep everyone kind of following along the process with us, which we think will be really cool and really fun. We've always liked being transparent, but this is a bit beyond that, where it'll really get people engaged in the process of the game, and we hope they enjoy seeing the process. So,
absolutely, yeah. That personally, despite the fact that I work on the team, that is the most. That's what I'm really excited for. Is every week following along. You know me, I try not to. I rarely ask to see things ahead of everybody else because I like to be. I like to stay spoiler free.
Yeah, but in this case, actually, for the most part, the community is going to be getting these updates literally the same day we get them. So, for example, when we dropped this concept art, I believe it was on Monday, that was as soon as we got it. We literally received it a couple hours before. So.
Right, absolutely. And here we have our first collab request coming in from a courier who wants a Metaforce card race.
Yeah, well, we'll never say never. And definitely our friends, who help us since day one, and all our supporters, they'll definitely be preferential on the list of who gets included in the future. So,
yeah, I can just imagine a cross-chain, cross-platform racing game where you're I guess not driving your whelp, flying your whelp through the course, and then all of a sudden LeftHouse in character shows up and decides either your whelp is good or bad, and LeftHouse is going to take care of you. Now, who's this fella?
So this guy plays a very particular style of music, and Sven here is one of the many bards that are included in the upcoming Dwarves collection that WHELPS is dropping. So as something, there's kind of 2 roles, 2 reasons behind it. One is to keep expanding on the lore, keep expanding on everything the universe is building. Number 2 is to start giving people, if anyone knows anything about video game development, or even if you don't and you just take a guess, it's not something that's going to be built overnight, right? It is a long process. And while we've taken a few decisions to kind of speed that up and make sure we try to get the game out, at least a playable demo, I think our target is May right now. There's still, months to wait in the NFT space, and that's like decades. So the Dwarves are a great way to bridge that gap. They're going to allow people to start mining and earning the in-game currency, and eventually they're going to be able to mine the actual security token, $whelp, which is effectively tradable. It'll be public liquidity. So it's a way for our early supporters to make some money. It's going to allow us to do a new marketing round, bring more awareness to the project, get people who maybe saw WHELPS, kind of forgot about it over the past couple of months, bring them back to the fold, bring in new blood. And, we're very excited. We think the art looks awesome. This is just one of the characters, but there are going to be different classes. So there's going to be, this is a bard. You're going to have your prospectors, your miners, of course. You're going to have the smelters. And they all actually have a utility and a role, so that there is advantage to actually collecting, more than one of them. As well, we've heard of a couple surprise guests in there. I think the Dwarven King actually will be in the collection. I think the Old Woman might make an appearance. And we're going to say that those 2 are going to be ultra rare and have a very special ability utility. So yeah, it's just an exciting thing to do to keep the community engaged, bring more awareness to it, and let our early supporters get a jump start on earning the token for the in-game currency.
That's right. That's right. So for a little bit of self-promotion, and certainly not financial advice. Oh, I don't have left scrolling thing at the bottom of the screen that says we're not the smartest apples in the bunch and don't take us for financial advice. But I'll just say it. I'm not the smartest apple in the bunch. Don't take this as financial advice. Take it for what it is, self-promotion. And now that I've said that disclaimer, I have absolutely no idea what I was going to self-promote. So there we go. But yeah, WHELPS. Oh, yeah. You know, that WHELPS floor on OpenSea is slowly starting to creep up. The more information that comes out about WHELPS Slipstream and dwarves and everything that's coming out. So take a look at the WHELPS NFT collection on OpenSea if you don't have one, or even if you do. Now may be the right time to pick one up before things really start to explode. But again, not financial advice. Pure
and we will say we do have a significant marketing budget set aside for paid marketing as soon as we have things a little further along, meaning, you know, we are going to do some marketing around the dwarves drop, but we're going to give holders the first kind of crack at getting what they want without being stressed out about a sellout. It's not going to be a massive supply of dwarves. So, you know, we want to balance things like we always try to, and reward holders. But then after that, once we start getting actual gameplay footage, which I'm going to predict will be in potentially late February, once we have that footage, we start, you know, further progressing our talks with launch pads. We actually can start using the footage and videos we're going to produce, you know, populate those on everywhere from Instagram to Twitter and wherever it makes sense. You know, we will have a significant budget that's already set aside for that. And it's kind of what we've been, in a way, saving up for. We haven't been marketing the project at all in many, many months. And that was a conscious decision. We felt do it when it's going to have the most impact, and not where, you know, we do it, we get a spike, and then it kind of fizzles out if we don't continue. We didn't see the purpose in that, knowing that long term, these were our plans, and now we're approaching them.
Yeah, I think that's it's really exciting, and we've gotten a lot of great comments in the Discord. And actually, I'll drop a link to the WHELPS Discord in a moment. But we've gotten a lot of great comments recently in the WHELPS Discord about how, yeah, obviously, you know, the NFT world moves quickly, and WHELPS came out for minting in July. So between July and now, that's an incredibly long time in the NFT space. So the fact that we're continuing to grow and not rushing anything, but simply growing at the right pace, at the pace that's required to do this properly and to do this successfully, you know, that's to be commended, and has been commended recently in the Discord.
Yeah, it's difficult for some because a lot of people require the revenue from secondary, from the royalties, to keep actually producing things, especially if they didn't budget from the initial sale or the initial drop. So I think that's one thing that affects a lot of projects. And you're starting to see, though, now a lot of them come in with either investors, or they do make a budget and they don't burn all the initial funds very quickly. So I think you're going to start seeing more projects actually taking a slower long-term approach. And we think that's great. Like, it's where it needs to go to get mainstream adoption, because you can't bring in people who think everything is a pump and dump and a scam. And that's still, to a lot of mainstream people, the image of NFTs in general. Like, if you just ask a casual person at the bar or on the street, well, probably on the street, they'd probably look at you weird, but
yeah, it's that's a fun conversation. Actually, remind me in a minute. I'm going to follow up on that. But Monkey Beans asked, will Highborn airdrop announced today be good for future staking or ones that have been staked?
So the actual staking right now that's been announced is about the dwarves. The Highborns do play into that, as do the whelps, in a couple of ways. So the first way, there's going to be basically creatures. We don't know if they're gremlins in the mines or what they are exactly yet. But these creatures, there's a chance that they might steal some of your mining, spoils. And the whelps are basically hired by the dwarves to help protect those spoils. And the highborns do qualify as such. The second thing the highborns have is some of them have an object in their background. And from day one, we've had a purpose in mind for these objects, which again, we haven't revealed yet. We're pacing things, even though a lot of people are asking. But you can be sure that those objects do relate to what happens in the mining and in the mountain and with the dwarves, as well as the fact that they might have uses in the game. So as far as can you stake a highborn to mine? No, just like you can't stake a whelp to mine. But if you have a dwarf mining, you can enhance that experience with either the highborn or the whelps. And it does count the ones that are going to be airdropped later this week as well.
Awesome. So before we move on from whelps, just to go back what you were saying about, talking to somebody about NFTs on the street, I'm always curious to know, when someone asks you what you do for a living, what is your go-to answer?
Typically, I say, women, sheep, that kind of thing. But yes, my politically correct answer will be, I let them know that now I'm in the blockchain space and I develop, our company develops smart contracts and is involved in NFTs. And if it's someone, I can actually, like, let's say someone who's over at my house, a friend or whoever it may be, I can show them stuff on YouTube. I can pull up our projects. I can pull up our teaser videos for various things. So that kind of gives them an idea of what we do. They still don't understand the economics of it. They don't understand, for example, why someone would just pay $1 million for a picture of an ape.
Right.
Right. That's very hard for people in a 9-to-5 normal job to wrap their head around, right? Mm-hmm. So it's still difficult. It's still not mainstream. We did notice it when we were in New York for NFT New York. We did see common people on the street starting to wonder, like, what is going on here? Why are there people lined up here or what? And it was actually hilarious hearing some of the conversations of people trying to explain to them what NFTs were. So yeah, I'd say we're still a decent amount of time away, and it really will take, big companies. And I think that will start with video games. It started somewhat with fashion, but not in a very involved, way, not in a way that educates their consumer base, at least. But I think you'll start seeing it from the video game community most, and it'll spread out from there. And just like anything, it'll be adopted over time. So.
Yeah, I'm really excited for. Oh, by the way, I just say I work in cryptocurrency, and then I wait. And if I see the eyes glaze over, then I just don't bother. And if they go, "Oh, really? Tell me more." Well, okay, then we're gonna get into it. One of the things, you mentioned a bored ape and how difficult it can be for somebody to wrap their head around that. I'm really excited to see what the space looks like a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I just, as I've been known to say recently, I don't think the future of the space is pixelated dicks, but I do think that NFTs are the future. And I know that kind of sounds hippy dippy when you say it that way, but I mean, I see so many potential uses, including, I just read there's a South Korean politician who's taking campaign donations in Bitcoin and Ethereum and issuing NFT receipts.
Nice. But I think, if I had to correct you just a tad, and this might be semantics, I would say the future is smart contracts as opposed to the NFT itself, right? And we're almost saying the same thing, though, because they're kind of one and the same right now. I think that it'll diverge a little further as it goes. But using the NFTs or using smart contracts, you can basically change every mainstream industry. Like, look at tickets for concerts, right? For gated entry. Right now, it doesn't matter what kind of app you use, QR code you use, smartphone entries. There is still a massive amount of money made and lost to ticket fraud. Now, you can absolutely solve that with smart contracts and NFTs. And I think that will be one of the first spaces you'll see that. Real estate, a lot of people jump on and say real estate will be another, especially fractionalized ownership. I'm a little wary of that one because I see a lot of people are going to get screwed out of money by unscrupulous individuals, that's going to be something different, I think, because if I tell you, hey, I'm selling you, a house, here's the token that represents it, I just see there's a lot of chance for fraud there. But I think real world things like events, like concerts, even restaurants, they're all going to start to slowly adopt the technology, and I think they'll be among the first to really push it to where people are like, oh, it's just a normal process now. Like I remember 5 years ago, and the first time I went to an arena for hockey, back to our hockey, and they said we don't accept paper tickets anymore, and I had to find somewhere to actually charge my phone, download their app to get in and show them it on my phone because they refused to accept the paper version. So, we're going to get there. It just is a matter of, is it 5 years? Is it 10 years?
Yeah. And I'm wondering, like, I just received tickets for an event, and there's no barcode or anything. It's just based on NFC. You just hold your phone to the reader, and it's either good or it's not. So that doesn't have anything to do specifically with NFTs, but yeah, that could easily be incorporated. I'm really fascinated by where this stuff is going to go. And again, it's just a reminder of how new we really are. I mean, you have experience changing focus to heroes and villains. They're, from what I understand, they're not called smart contracts, they're called programs. But you've actually had a hand in kind of helping Solana build out its program capability. Or am I overselling you?
You're probably overselling me a bit, especially since that would not be myself. Now, we have worked with them and their teams. We've suggested things. We haven't gone so far as to commit code yet because let's just say we share different viewpoints on how certain things should work. We do have, though, on MasterBrewS staff a Rust specialist who's, for example, right now writing programs to do staking on Solana, because as of yet, there's no real staking functionality. Now, I'm not aware of the thousands of Solana projects out there. Someone may have done proper on-chain staking. On stain. Yeah,
stain on us all.
So I'm sure some probably have done it by now. But for people using in that ecosystem, using Metaplex, using Candy Machine, using the basic standard ways that are popular, they don't have those capabilities, and it's not an easy thing to do for them. It's not an easy thing to do for us either. We make that clear. It's definitely a higher learning curve than we ever expected, but we're slowly cracking it. So, as more information gets out there and more people start to use and demand certain features, I'm sure it'll get easier. I wasn't around in this type of space years ago, so I can't say how building the very first, Ethereum mainnet projects were. They might have had the same lack of information and lack of help. So it's a growing thing, but yeah, I do like, there are other chains for the future we're investigating. Some of them are a lot better documented, so that always makes things easier. But yeah, it's all about the communities, and where demand goes, the innovation's eventually going to follow. So it's unfortunate. I wish it was the other way around. Where innovation goes, the demand follows, but that's typically not the case.
Yeah, and I guess in some cases you don't really know what needs to be innovated until you see where the demand lies. But yes, there's always a need for innovation. Well, speaking of staking, and I'm doing something I hate right now, which is sharing my Discord because I'm showing off all my secrets. But yeah, we just announced some staking for heroes and villains, or the staking details, I should say. And one of my favorite things about heroes and villains, it's sort of a joke here, in terms of where it says racial equality, but the reality is I do give a lot of credit to heroes and villains for being really a progressive project, right? We've got non-binary characters in there, and I think that's the first sort of, I'd imagine there are LGBT NFT projects that may focus on non-binary, but this is the first quote unquote, like, it has nothing to do with LGBT. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has nothing to do with any political thing. And yet, this team has taken care to ensure that everybody is incorporated.
Yeah, and I'll just spend a minute on that because it was actually a not a rough decision, maybe a tough decision with the artists, with the team, with everybody. As far as I think you were probably involved with us at that point in time as well, or you might have come in just after.
I think it was just after, yeah.
Yeah, but the conversation revolved around art-wise, do we portray them as the media does, or do we portray them, like everyone else, which is the reality of it? Just because you're non-binary doesn't mean you need to have a shaved head or a certain look or a certain mohawk, even if that potentially is a popular trend. So this was something we had a lot of debate, a lot of discussion about. We're very fortunate we have a lot of people we know in those communities, and the general consensus was they actually loved the fact we didn't make a point of it and we just included it. It was just something that was there. You can get a non-binary character who essentially is, looks like one of our male characters, looks like one of our female characters, that we didn't make it stand out with a select set of traits only or select set of clothing. And that's something that, we're pretty proud of. Like, we don't promote it. We don't try to take advantage of it, but we're happy it's in there. We have definitely had people message us who appreciated it and appreciated the way it was done, which was, very, very organic, very subtle. It wasn't done to promote itself, I guess is the best way to put it.
Right. Which is great. It's exactly the way it should be, in my opinion. So yeah, what can you tell us briefly? I mean, I'm going to let you, while I have you, I'm going to let you do all the talking. So what can you tell us about staking? What do we need to know?
Well, you need to buy as many heroes and villains as you can.
Speaking of which, again, not financial advice, but that floor, that secondary market has been going a little nuts ever since you posted this yesterday. So
yeah, I saw the daily volume pick up quite a bit this morning, but again, to me it's kind of cool that it's really our kind of, I call them, hardcore members or OGs of the community. They're basically doing a lot of the picking up because they just believe in the project so much. And we tried to give them like bonuses and things here that really help them complete their collection, which will have a lot of benefits in the future. So I like that things are still in reach, I guess is the best way to put it, for the people who've been with us since the start. Because we're very confident that once game footage for this comes out, with a proper marketing budget, with people jumping on, those prices will never be seen again. So, I like that everyone that's in now has still maybe, let's say, a good month or so to really acquire whatever they want to acquire. And then after that, it's going to be, hopefully off to the races. So,
yeah, I agree. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. It's, again, obviously I'm biased, so take that, take what I say with that bias in mind. But people are always looking for that thing that they can get in on the ground floor. That's just a natural, I want to be in on the ground floor of something. And that's where we are with heroes and villains. That's where we are with WHELPS, not discounting anything that's been done up to this far, but it's ground floor, and it's very quickly not going to be any longer.
Yeah, and I think people appreciate the fact that although the floor hasn't, been above mint, let's say, we as a team, we keep releasing updates. There's work being done that does not influence the floor or provide revenue, but it's still being done. So we see more and more people are starting to appreciate that. And that's the signs of a good long-term project. So it's something that the space has caught up to, and we're starting to get comments, almost on a daily basis of how people appreciate that, notice that, like that. And that's what we're happy that it finally caught up, basically, because when we started, people are like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And we chose not to. We took a little bit of a different path, definitely a slower path. And now we're starting to get to the point where it's going to be, extremely exciting and fast moving, we think, in about a month and a half, I would say. Going back to staking, I didn't answer your question at all. But basically, you're going to be able to stake your characters. Potentially, that'll be released some point next week. It might be, a little earlier, it might be a little later, but rough time frame of, let's say, 7 to 10 days. And that's something great for people to get a jump start, to tide them over until the initial game, demo comes out. We also do have other things in the roadmap. We have sidekicks and henchmen. We have the comic dropping this month. So there's a lot going on in the heroes and villains space. And this is just one of those couple of major milestones, major things. So you'll be able to earn hero or villain, which are separate virtual in-game currency tokens. And again, we will have a public liquidity, government, how would you call it? Governance token, I suppose, security token, which is $HV. That'll be released later because that involves the launch pads and obviously the game. So this is something people can start right away. They can accrue it. It will have a lot of uses in game. It may have the potential to be converted to our public token as well. So it isn't something where the value is purely if you play the game. There's a high chance you're going to be able to actually redeem it and convert it and get a token where if you want to cash out, you can cash out. So that is, something that sets that type of staking apart from several where it's purely in-game and you don't know what any of the in-game utility is. You don't know when the game's coming out. You don't have a lot of details other than you're earning something that might do something one day. So here we already have a pretty defined role, vision, utility for it. And the bonuses, we just thought those were fun. Those were cool. We noticed the community was trying to already have a blast sniping, different things and different deals. So we said, why not give them, it's equivalent kind of to like achievements or badges in a game where, let's say the racial equality one you mentioned, it's actually having, one of each base race. Well, you get a bonus then to your earning. Seeker, which is going to be really hard for people to complete, which is why it gives a 50% bonus if you happen to have all 15 backgrounds, right? And some of those backgrounds are more rare than others, especially the moon. It's not meant for everyone to have it. It's meant for people who, really go out and try to snipe them and get them and whatnot. What people haven't noticed yet that we didn't bring up is that there are, a lot of characters who have the portal power, right? Or the teleportation. Now, if you're in background 1 and you want to, once we release the ability on the website, also in the near future, if you want to use your portal and walk to the other background you have, well, hey, maybe that helps you complete the Seeker component here, right?
That's true.
That's true. Everything is done with a purpose. It's not done to be random. So even if we haven't detailed things like what I just mentioned, they were all designed with that type of functionality in mind. And it's just a matter of when the functionality is released or announced and people start using it. So, I would say all these are just, really fun things. We wanted to make sure pass holders of the Hero Pass and Villain Pass, which were very recently reissued, we initially issued them in a way on Solana that was not ideal. It made them very hard to be listed on the marketplaces. So we've done a reissue. We can't kind of cancel in effect the old ones by updating their metadata. The new ones are immutable. Everything is locked. They're beautiful. They're frozen. We've contacted the marketplaces, so hopefully they're up soon. And we wanted those pass holders in the long list of benefits they receive to basically get the best benefit here for staking as well. So it really was, hardcore supporters who got those passes at the very start. On that note, a lot of people asking, will we sell more of them? Because we do have a finite supply. We always said we may release more in the future. And I think right now, No, we definitely would not sell them simply because Ross showed up. But caught him sleeping. But yeah, no, we definitely don't want to release any ourselves until the demand is there. We don't want to take away from the ability for people who hold them to choose to sell them, as soon as they can list them if they want. So it is something where we might sell a few in the future because there are people who want them, but we want to do it when demand is so high that it does not hurt the current holders of them.
Right.
Well.
Oh, sorry, I'm hearing myself. We have Ross. Welcome,
Yep.
Ross.
Oh, I'll let Ross. Ross, why don't you explain to us what the ultra rares do?
Oh, in the video game. I'm glad you asked because I've been racking my brains about it all week, and I've finally found the right solution. I'm going to let Steve decide what to do with the one-on-ones, because ultimately he knows best. So,
No, we meant here as far as staking. So this one you actually should know the answer if you read our announcement.
Okay. For staking. Oh, right. Yeah, it's like, what was it, like 50% boost? Yeah, not sure, is it?
No, so the ultra rare is kind of like an overlord of his location or her location,
right?
Meaning everything that is claimed from a certain background, hero or villain, the ultra rare on top of that particular background kind of gets a tribute or a tax, which in a way, we had a problem with this story-wise. It makes a lot of sense for a villain. It doesn't make as much sense for a hero, except, hey, I guess it's contributions to help the good cause, to donate to building like the Hall of Justice table. So we had to reach a little bit to justify it, but we think it absolutely adds value to those. And we know people have paid a lot of money for those. I remember one being exchanged, someone purchased for, I think, 15 sol when they wanted it. There's others who have made offers higher that have been rejected because people don't want to sell them for good reason. This is only the first of many utilities they'll have. But we really want people to realize the value in them. And, just a quick mention, there are still 5 unminted, and they're buried somewhere in the, remaining 1,800 mints. So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We had, I think it was Crypto Bingo or Dancing Polly who was like, oh, look at this Dr. Manhattan looking guy. Like, I really, really want him. And I was like, oh, that's of course, like not everyone has been released yet. So there's still stuff to mint. There's still chances to be ads.
And I remember one of them, it was either the Master Brewer or potentially the Demon one, Bal. I think just to start things off, I threw it a 25 sol offer and it got rejected in a second. So.
Nice. Wow. I was saying yesterday, because I have a fairly rare combination. I've got a demon with a spectral familiar Rex, and there doesn't appear to be, first of all, there's not many demons on the market, and I don't think there's any spectral familiar Rexes on the market. And so I was sort of, I was saying in chat yesterday, I'm not sure how much it would take for me to sell. It's more than 10, but probably less than 1,000.
Yeah, there's a wide window of who knows.
Yeah.
I mean, awesome. unless you just want to get out of the project or you need liquidity, which there's no shame in that. Like, there's no, if you need it for something, you need it for something. I would advise holding, because the game, it's going to be a quality game, but even if you don't play games or you don't like it, if you bought into this project for a flipping or investment purchase, which I think is very few of our holders, you're still going to get a much better return in a month or two than you would get now. And, without the financial disclaimer, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case.
Well, I mean, things have picked up since you dropped the staking announcement. And even before that, like, I'm not privy to any of the tech side and like the gaming side, and I have no idea what's going on. It's just, I'm pure art. But I knew something was coming, and so I went on secondary. I started buying them up, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is fair because I do not know what's coming myself. So I'm like, hey, so I've got about 15 now.
Yeah. So just to disclaim to everybody, including the art team, including Penguin, including even my co-founder, Tilting Shock, nobody knows what any of the mints are, where the ultra rares are, anything about any of these plans, except for myself. So if you ever see me with an ultra rare, that's suspicious. But I try to stay away from buying any, much as I would like to buy a bunch of them, until they've all been minted and revealed. Because the last thing we ever want is people to just raise suspicion. Hopefully, through numerous projects and our actions and our transparency, we've built that level of trust with most people. But yeah, we would never want to harm the project. So, if anyone sees Ross buying, Penguin buying, anybody buying except for myself, you can be confident they're as blind as you are.
Right. If not more so. Monkey Beans wants to know any update or plans on the sidekicks and henchmen.
Yeah, so far as plans, we have it all planned out. Right now, we're knocking out our roadmap in the order that we originally switched the sidekicks and henchmen with the comic. So the comic, and maybe Ross can speak to this probably best of all of us, because he's the final layer of the comic.
That's right.
We are targeting that the 12 of them are going to be done by the end of this month, and then potentially a little bit extra time for the variant covers for the winners. Is that still on track?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No reason why. There's an echo, right?
Yeah.
Is that me? Is that on my end?
It may be. If you have
Might be
headphones,
mine,
throw 'em on, but
but
this is live, folks. We're showing how the sausage is made.
All right. Okay, I'll turn down my volume as I speak, just briefly to your point, and then I'll go fetch my AirPods. Everything's on track. Definitely see no reason why it would not be the end of the month. I've got stuff to be doing, and I'm going to start very soon. Mark and Jay are on the job.
Yeah. Oh, I've already seen more than we've released, so I get that privilege, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, you guys get to see it when I feel like letting you see it. But yeah, everything is on track with our roadmap. So back to Monkey Bean's question, sidekicks and henchmen will be the focus after the comic is dropped, and that item is kind of checked off our list. And the sidekicks and henchmen, they obviously are going to play a major role in the game. So, can you drop your public address?
Shout out to Medina, the newest member of the MasterBREWS team. But I think he's asking for your home address, Keith. So if you can just share that with us now.
I mean, I guess if he wants to check my, mailbox or my backyard. I actually don't know if he's asking for the MasterBREWS website or if he's asking for my personal wallet, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and throw up a clarification, Medina, and we'll get that. Whatever you need. So we didn't really give
back to sidekicks and henchmen, just to finish answering the actual question. Everything is on track. That's going to be our focus of February, and I think it's something that we're probably going to drop right at the beginning of March. That would be a nice time interval before the initial parts of the game should be being shown and gameplay footage and whatnot. So that's the update I would give on that. But it's absolutely happening on track. Everything's being done in the order that we have it currently outlined. So
here he wants to run some follow-up on you.
I can absolutely give you my Solana address because I have none.
What can we expect? Sorry, let me highlight this. Oh, it's going too quick. The comments are coming in so quickly. What can we expect and need to put in to get in on this level? In terms of buying into heroes and villains now, I have not checked the floor. Certainly, I would be remiss to not say, hey, you can still mint them. So there is, while the floor is below mint price, there is lots of fun in minting. For 1.5 SOL, you get to experience the whole evolution. So that whole 6 segment evolution. And of course, you have a chance at one of those 5 remaining ultra rares. So I would always say go ahead and mint as many as you like to your heart's content, because they're not going to be around for much longer. But as Recurrier helpfully just pointed out, up close to half a soul on Magic Eden, and it was hovering around 0.3 yesterday. So we've definitely seen some movement there.
The cheapest one I see just now is 4.3 on Magic Eden. So it's and the rest are just 0.5. Yeah, 0.43.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that some of them, if you look in the activity log, you'll see there are some going for more. Like I just saw one go for 3.5, and then there was one for 1.7 and whatnot. So it's not just the floor being swept. People are looking for, I think, some to complete their bonuses, which is great to see. I did paste my wallet address to you, Penguin, because I can't paste in the chat for some reason.
No, that's right. That's right.
You're free to share it just to answer Medina's question.
Well, I'm going to go do that now. I'm going to blow up your spot right now.
Yeah, I think on Solana, the only things I own are Heroes and Villains and the Rope Shark.
You never got yourself one of those pharaohs?
Oh, yeah, I think I got one of the pharaohs too.
Interesting projects all around. Rory, I would recommend Phantom. So that is phantom.app. There is no mobile version yet. It is coming. It's in beta testing right now. So phantom.app is the recommended one, I would say.
Just to say, it's PH Phantom, because there is an F Phantom as well.
PH Phantom. And of course, well, two things I want to say on the matter. First is, whether or not you are an Action Family Club card member today, you will have the opportunity to win a Heroes and Villains NFT. We're going to be doing 2 giveaways today. One for Action Family Club card member holders only, as per usual. We don't want to take that away. And then in honor of the 3 of us being here, we'll do a second giveaway. So if you don't have a Solana address yet, that's fine. Make sure you still enter the giveaway, and we can, of course, help get you set up with whatever you need to be set up with. The other thing I wanted to say is that we did not give him a proper introduction. So as he finishes his drink, I will say hello to Ross, my partner in crime and the one of the artists on the Heroes and Villains project. So thank you for joining us.
Yes. Ross,
my pleasure.
Your name says Ross the Mighty. It does not say Boss Campbell.
Boss Campbell. That's a
I'm
good
sorry.
one.
I've changed my name recently. That's all I can say. But yeah, the Mighty One. That's right. My cousins used to call me Ross Boss, for what it's worth. And Baby Ross and all sorts of Ross. Like, they used to call me Tomato Sauce Ross because I loved ketchup so much. But, you know, whatever. We all have history.
Diana Ross?
No. Despite the similarities in appearance. You know?
Shout out to the Online In for the super sticker. Thank you very much, Online In. And Ross, up earlier, I've been waiting. I've been hoping you showed up because earlier today, Matt D, where is it? I'm trying to find it. Had a great comment. The best comment I've heard so far about our podcast. Rotten is nearly fresh.
Well, that's true. That's true. Can't argue with that logic.
So, you know, I'll take that opportunity to say episode 2 of the Nearly Fresh Topics podcast is out now on YouTube and all of your favorite podcast apps and your least favorite podcast apps. And despite the glowing review, I'm going to say that's a glowing review of episode 2 from Morton Matt. You know, check it out. This is basically what we get up to, what you're hearing today. It's just a lot of talk about different projects, a lot of talk about NFTs. Ross and I are also lovers of comedy, so we normally spend quite a bit of time talking about comedy and other things. And Ross, as I find a link to today's episode, what are some other things the podcast is about?
Funnily enough, in the Discord, there was user Jones posted the foods that we're talking about So there's like a beef olive and a cabbage roll. And so, apparently we're a cooking show as well. Why not?
That's
But
right.
it made me think we should get a channel in the server called Nearly Fresh Cookbook.
Nearly fresh
Just
cookbook.
put in all the recipes that we talk about there.
Keith, do you know what a beef olive is?
All I know is I love beef and I can't stand olives, so I would be very torn on the matter.
I don't like olives either, and I love beef. So, but basically, it's like sausage meat or whatever mealy pudding is. I can't remember. That's a Scottish thing as well. And it's just wrapped in like minute steak, and you put it in the oven, put some gravy over it. It's fucking beautiful. Roast potatoes.
There are no actual olives.
I love haggis. Right? I think I've mentioned that to Ross before. I've been to Scotland twice, and I do love haggis as much as other people make fun of it. I think it's delicious. So,
it's beautiful. Like, you can have it with breakfast here, like sausages, bacon, haggis, beans, and that's it.
A Scotch ale.
Exactly.
I went on a first date with a girl once, and I'm not sure if she thought she would impress me, but she decided to order the haggis, which for some reason was on the menu in this Canadian bar. And she had about one bite and was like, oh, I guess that backfired because I'm not going to eat any of this.
Shame on her. She doesn't know what she's missing.
That's right. So this is a great question. We just talked about it. Mattis, I hope I'm saying that right. There's no way I'm saying that right. There's going to be 2 giveaways today. One is for Action Club Card family members, which if you are not a holder, let's just say if you were a holder, you would know how to enter the giveaway. But in terms of the Heroes and Villains Origins NFT we'll be giving away, I will be posting a Google form for that probably in about 10 minutes as we wind down the show. Okay, Stoned Rabbit loves black olives, so that's good to know. My son loves black olives too. And Stoned Rabbit also loves haggis. So where do you land on kimchi, Stoned Rabbit? I'm just gonna name all of the controversial foods.
I don't even know what that is.
Kimchi, it's like fermented back to cabbage for like fermented cabbage.
I think it's very popular in Korea, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. I love Canada too, especially now that it's not freezing anymore. We're getting a little bit of a reprieve.
Quebec, not Canada.
Quebec, yeah. Well, that's maybe a little too political for this show, but we can all share.
We had negative 38 degrees Celsius here yesterday,
which for our friends in the United States is about negative 38 Fahrenheit.
By the way, how is Quebecsit going?
Quebecsit, yeah.
Not going very far, but we are very well prepared for the zombie apocalypse at this point.
Yeah, that's all we need is someone from Scotland and someone from Quebec to start discussing independence. The show will take on a whole new. Meaning. Well, I would be remiss if we did not get to some news, and I've chosen a few. There I go again, losing my train of thought. I've chosen a few news articles to share. This is sort of an example of what you'll find if you decide to listen to the Nearly Fresh podcast, Nearly Fresh Topics podcast, because a lot of the time we are spending talking about various NFT news and things. Oh, Medina rubbing it in over here. Look at this. Oh, is it going to show? 28 degrees Celsius, which for our American friends, again, is about 90, maybe just above 90. So I can't wait. I'm going to have to wait another 6 months before I get that.
Oh, we're never getting that here. We might get up to 18.
And the chills of Scotland.
The frozen north.
The frozen north. Oh, the who's who of the hinterland. Did you ever see that, Keith? That was like an old Canadian newsreel. Who's who in the hinterland?
No. I remember some of these Canadian heritage commercials though, which sounds similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, we won't go into those because there's too many I can bring up and then we'll be here forever.
That's right. Although I still sing the log driver's waltz from time to time.
That is exactly what I was picturing in my head.
if you want to see some iconic Canadian, 60s, 70s produced video, search for The Log Driver's Waltz on YouTube, and you will not be disappointed.
It sounds riveting. Let me get right on that.
Yeah, I think you can play it to close out the show later.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if well, that's yeah. All right. So, fashion giant Gap launches gamified NFTs on Tezos or Tezos. I still don't know how to say it, but Ross, you and I were just talking about Tezos recently as a really viable blockchain and a really viable NFT blockchain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was just yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're giving spoiler or previews of episode 4, and episode 3 is not even out yet.
So prepared.
I'm not entirely sure what Gap's NFT collection is going to be all about, but they're only selling for 2 Tezos each, 2 XTZ each, which is pretty good, quite cheap. And oh yeah, collect Gap hoodie digital art at different levels. So it's like a gamified NFT experience. I'm thinking of that. It's like some sort of program where you can buy different Gap clothes, and then maybe you can see yourself what you look like virtually in those clothes. But no, it doesn't appear to be. It appears to be a pickle doing a dance.
But I was close enough, right? I look like a pickle sometimes.
And then
it looks like a cactus to me. I'm sorry.
No? Yeah, it could be a cactus. It could be
the teal one on his sleeve is rather interesting.
Yeah, his sleeve has got udders.
Oh, we've got a Mars has his Yeezy Gap sweatshirt ordered. Let me see if I can bring up this comment. Here we go. Nope. Almost there. Folks, I really appreciate your patience with me to let you in behind the curtain. This is the first time I've ever done anything with StreamYard, so I think I'm not doing a horrible job, but I definitely need some more experience. I'll keep oh, thank you. I'll keep LeftHouse locked up for another few days so that I can get this sorted out. And then, Ross, you and I were talking about this. So again, another sneak preview of episode 4 of our podcast. But AP launching NFT marketplace for its photographs. So that news resource, Associated Press, that we talked about yesterday, you know, they have a lifetime, 175 years, so more than a lifetime of historical photos. So I think that's really cool. That's a really cool use for an NFT project, is to immortalize these photos. And, you know, it makes sense. I'm sure they've released photo albums of them before. Now they'll release NFTs of them. 10 years from now, whatever replaces that, they'll release. But yeah, it's really interesting. It's really fun.
Yeah. One note, I haven't read this article. I just skimmed it as you went through it right now.
Right.
But what popped out is they will accept credit card payments as well. So that's interesting that, they're trying to make a little bridge, and that's a good start.
Yeah. And I know that's something I've heard a few different people say, is that they really think the next step to taking NFTs mainstream is just accept credit cards. People don't necessarily want to deal with cryptocurrency if they want to buy an NFT. Like, I don't think it's necessary to teach every single person who wants to buy an NFT about cryptocurrency. I think all of that stuff can be handled on the back end. And I know that's something, again, to speak for, or not to speak for, but to talk about some of the things that Recurrier and I have talked about regarding Metaforce's future, is the idea that if you want to buy a Metaforce comic book, you just go to the website and put in your credit card and buy a comic book, and we'll take care of the conversion to cryptocurrency on the back end, because you don't need to know that just to get your comic book.
Yeah. So there, I will just caution, there is still a very big gray area, but also a fine line between, watching out for stuff like AMLs, which is anti-money laundering,
Right.
because if I can, there's obviously ways around it and there's ways to do it properly. But if I just throw up that I accept, credit card payments and then I can pay you out in crypto, that's technically illegal in a lot of countries. So you have to really go through the motions of doing everything by the book. If you're in a country that it matters, like if you're an American or whatnot. If you're on the island somewhere where it's not as big a deal, maybe you don't care so much.
Right. And laws will change. Laws will, if there's one thing I know about most politicians, they don't like to leave money on the table. So if there's a way for them to make money by loosening some of these laws, I'm sure it will happen.
Yeah, a lot of it's going to involve KYC, which is going to be their hard push no matter what, and no matter what direction things go in. They want to know who's in charge of every wallet or transaction. They don't like they don't like people being anonymous.
Right.
They can't get that word out. So yeah, it's all going to revolve probably around that for the next couple of years. And that's where the battle, I think, is going to be, because the point of decentralization and people being anonymous is to get away from Big Brother. And obviously on the other side, no, they want Big Brother to continue.
Right, exactly. So Rory C is saying, I put in 1.5 soul and it spits out a hero or villain. Correct. It will spit out a hero or villain. You will not know until that final evolution. That final evolution after 18 days will show you whether it's a hero or a villain. You may be able to kind of not guess. You may be able to speculate on whether it will be a hero or a villain, based on some of the artifacts that it comes with, maybe based on its caption. But yeah, that's part of the fun of it, is not knowing whether you're going to get a hero or a villain. Rory, hit up the Heroes and Villains Discord. I might as well drop a link into. We'll continue the day of self-promotion. I mean, Left knew what he was getting into when he asked me to host this, right? You can't ask a guy with 17 different projects to host something and then not spend the entire time talking about it.
Hey,
So
never
let me
works
just
for free, right?
Right, exactly.
Got to get the ads in there.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and post the Heroes and Villains Discord link into the chat now, as soon as my computer lets me.
Okay, while you're speaking about that,
please.
We were talking about credit cards and how some sites are going to accept and whatnot. I believe Nifty Gateway is doing that, right? From what I read, at least, they're also, if you trade within the Nifty Gateway marketplace, there's no gas involved. I'm not sure if there's minting fees, but you can pay in credit card, etc. I just think that's awesome if that's the case. And I'm sure I did read it. Did you guys hear anything about that?
I haven't specifically.
I haven't, but I've been pretty much in tunnel vision these days. So
yeah. But no, seems like a big step forward, at least for that particular marketplace, and it is a big marketplace. So no, it's pretty awesome. Like, gas fees just kill my desire to mint anything, really, which is why Solana's great, Tezos is great. Wax, I've never bought anything on Wax, but I hear Wax is great too.
I know, obviously the guys here, LeftHouse and the whole team, and Penguin especially, are massive Wax fans. And funny enough, I discovered Wax a little bit before I discovered anything on Ethereum, because I want to say it was either Street Fighter or Garbage Pail Kids, but they had caught my eye, and obviously the nostalgia factor kicked in, so I figured out how to get a Wax wallet and buy some of that stuff with WaxP. And I still have some, sitting around. I have some Ninja Turtles on there. I have some other things, some Atari. So
was that your first crypto then? Because almost everyone gets into Ethereum first, I feel.
Yeah, so cryptocurrency, no, because that I had bought years ago and like an idiot dumped it when it crashed. But as far as NFTs, yes, Wax was my very, very first ones. And then my second one was on Ethereum, like the Ethereum chain. So yeah, I have a weird collection of Wax stuff. I think I have some stuff still staked in Our Planet. I guess Penguin, you would know what that is.
I would, and Our Planet is a whole can of worms at this moment that we probably don't want to get into. But to answer your question, you may have assets staked with Our Planet, but they're not doing anything anymore. So you may want to remove those.
Well, it's not like they'd be doing anything anywhere else. So
right, fair enough. And then this one caught my eye. Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary thinks 2022 is the year of NFTs. I don't know. In my mind, if Kevin O'Leary says something, I kind of have a knee-jerk reaction to do the exact opposite. But, you can't argue with the success he's had, at least in the last few years, converting himself into a reality TV star. So, again, I'm excited whenever somebody or something, quote-unquote, mainstream talks about NFTs, because even if it's, and again, not to get into politics, but even if it's yahoos like Kevin O'Leary, it still means something.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to topple 2021 as the year of NFTs, to be fair, but I mean, they're only going to grow, really, so it's believable.
Yeah,
but 2021 is wild.
To me, that's most important is, I want to say, and now I might be off, but what I remember is, for 2021, there was only 200,000 unique wallets who made a purchase, I think, in the NFT space, or that might have been just a number on OpenSea, one of the two. But that is such a small number compared to users who eventually jump in. Like, I'm sure when stuff like PayPal came out, which can't stand PayPal, but they probably had millions of users in the first 2-3 years. So if you look at even going that route of only the initial adopters, there's a huge amount of growth that's going to come in that part this year, next year, and for a couple of years, you're going to see that 200,000 at least reach a few million. And then after that, it's really going to take, major companies pushing it to get to like 100 million, 200 million, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's going to explode more than it has done, I guess.
I think Viz disagrees with my description of Kevin O'Leary as a reality star, but that is the most generous title I'm willing to give him. So you're right about that.
You are a generous man, so it's fitting.
I just want to say I like the mask under the mask for Viz Numeris' guitar.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, he is a man of mystery, that is for sure, and also the man who can help me get a list of the Action Family Club Card members who have registered for today. So it is that time of day, I think, where we're going to move into the giveaway. So we will start with the Action Family Club Card members, and I'm going to be completely transparent. I don't have access, obviously, to LeftHouse's wallet. I don't have access to the Action Family Club Card wallet. So I'm going to run a giveaway. We're going to give something away to the top 3. I will probably provide some Metaforce stuff to the top 3. And then I'm going to get Left to also give prizes out to the top 3. And then we're going to do a second Grubfish where we'll give away, and that'll be open to everybody. And we will give away a Heroes and Villains Origins NFT.
Actually, let's make it two.
I am just waiting for my wonderful computer here to,
I think Penguin missed that,
catch up to me.
Penguin.
And I think what I'm going to do now...
Penguin.
You got to throw him a fish.
Can you hear me?
He's just zoned out. What is going on?
Yeah.
He's like, I'll just put you two on mute while I concentrate.
Well, we can hear each other.
Well, that's true.
How's it going, Ross?
Yeah, no, great. I just came from a dinner party.
I don't know what's going on right now, but if you can hear me, then that is wonderful. If you can't hear me, well, I'm still talking.
Okay, I think we just leave it with talk. He
Yeah.
seems very concerned.
I don't know what's
focus.
I got a phone call and it screwed everything up.
Yeah.
I've got calls like that in the past.
Yeah. All right,
Chris,
I'm almost there.
How are we doing now? Can you hear us?
I can hear you, but I think I'm probably echoing, so I'm going to try to take care of that right now.
You sound crystal clear to me, for the record.
Oh, good. All right, well then forget it. We'll just keep on keeping on because we're almost done.
Cool.
So
what you missed, Penguin, was I made an impromptu executive decision to say you can give out 2 heroes and villains today, so the top 2 instead.
Excellent. So should we give one to the Action Family Club card member only draw, and then one to the everyone draw?
As you like. I put it in your hands. Or in your...
Right.
What do penguins have? Wings?
Flippers. You'd think
Flippers?
I would know.
Yeah,
I
flippers.
actually don't know anything about penguins. You'd think I would.
Yeah, it's kind of important.
All right. So we're going to do this giveaway right now. Top 3 winners. Winner number 1 will get a Heroes and Villains Origin NFT. Winner number 2 and 3 will receive Metaforce and LeftHouse stuff. And then I'm going to drop a intake form for the second free-for-all giveaway. And once again, I am just waiting on my computer to catch up. If anybody would like to contribute to my GoFundMe for my new computer, I would appreciate it. That's
sign up to his OnlyFans.
Maybe one day we'll start paying you, Penguin. Maybe.
Yeah. 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 I'm just pinwheeling over here. I'm just going to close my eyes and point to a winner, and whoever it is gets it, because I think that's going to be more efficient than doing what I'm trying to do. All right, we're almost there. Again, everybody, I really appreciate your patience. Somewhat embarrassing, but that's okay. I'll get over it. Hopefully everyone else will too.
While we wait on Penguin, I will ask people to guess. Do they know why my background is what looks like the end of the world?
Good question.
I thought that was just a standard view of Quebec.
You're not far off, but you're missing the snow. But
Rory, you're absolutely right. I'm not going to highlight the comment because that will crash my computer too. But yeah, the GrubCush program will crash my PC. So, all right, let's get going here. I can't promise any sound. We'll see what happens. It's in the hands of the computer now. But again, number 1, HV Origins. Number 2 and number 3, LeftHouse and Metaforce. Here we go, Grubfish Royale.
So I haven't seen this. This is automated, right? It's not people actually playing right now?
It's automated. There is a version on Twitch which would allow you to participate, but that's a whole other ballgame.
I'm going to say Dirty Hamburger wins.
We have a rule. You can't call anyone out because they will instantly get eliminated as soon as you do. Let's see if the strategy continues.
I didn't know the rules. Sorry, Hamburger.
So far, still good. Oh, so far, still. Oh, hey, look at that! You broke the curse. So, congratulations to our top 3 winners: Dirty Hamburger, Viz Numerous, and Campsite Cook. Look at that list of top winners. It's almost like I don't want to say rigged, but I know some of these people.
I bet you do.
I like
All right,
that.
so that's awesome.
Is in the list.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Wilson Fisk. Wilson is another LeftHouse family member who helps run things behind the scenes. And yes, I once asked him if his parents were just really into Marvel.
Yeah.
So, Dirty Hamburger, if you can please find me on Discord, I'm the Penguin VA, and DM me your Solana address, or DM me and tell me you don't have one, and we will get that sorted for you. All right. I am now going to share the Google form as soon as I find it. Here we go. And oh, now I've lost my StreamYard. I'm all out of sorts. I'm not doing this anymore. All right, so I am posting in the comments right now. Again, as soon as my computer lets me. Anything? Anything? Not yet. Monday, do. It's worth it, I tell you. This last grub game that we're gonna run as soon as I'm not frozen anymore is gonna be worth it. The good news is I also can't see you guys anymore, so you just talk amongst yourselves.
All right,
your day is significantly improved.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, everybody just came back. Oh, but now I'm pinwheeling.
So, Ross, what do you think my background is about? Nobody else guessed.
Well, that's true. I have no idea, although I was going to comment on it and say it looked awesome and is very fitting to your villain alter ego.
So
but you're actually blending into it with your cap. It's quite.
I know. It is not to do with heroes and villains. And all I'm going to say is
Ragnarok. Yes.
And that is all we can say.
Yes.
Awesome.
Ragnarok is a buzzword. Keep that in mind for soon enough. Okay, I'm almost there. I'm almost ready to post this in the chat. Did it post? Yes. All right, so go to the Google form. We'll keep it open for 2 or 3 minutes. We'll run one more grubfish, and we'll get the heck out of here.
Yeah, and then Boulder Magic, no, it is not WHELPS related. And that's all I can say.
Yes, it is a. Well, if that's all you can say, I suppose I can't say anything either. So there we
go. Our Norse overlords will not like it.
Yeah. Oh, the grubfish music just kicked in, so that's fun. All right, was everybody able to access the Google form? Oh, what is the safe word? The safe word is Ragnarok.
Nice.
So go ahead and put in your name. Go ahead and put in the safe word. And if you have a Solana address, put that in. If you don't have a Solana address, that's okay for now too. You can leave that blank. The only thing, so today's safe word, Ragnarok, and your Discord username. Please put that in. 10 responses, 20 some odd people viewing, so I'm going to leave that open. Speaking of 20 some odd people viewing, please go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't done that already. Hit subscribe if you haven't done that already. This is a program that LeftHouse hosts every single day of the week, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, always bringing you the latest NFT news. You can usually catch me here on Mondays and Wednesdays, not hosting, so you don't have to worry about that, simply being here as a talking head, which is much better.
And you look like you're asleep in my beautiful frozen picture of Penguin.
Oh, I'll be sleeping soon enough. All right. Okay. As soon as I switch between... Okay, now we have more responses than people watching, so we're going to go ahead and close that. Maybe. Who knows? It just kind of does what it wants to do. Here we go. Not accepting responses. All right. How do I use this Google? Just kidding. All right, we're almost there. I promise. Oh, do I have to? Any other Ross? Anything you want to plug?
No, but
We're
you can watch our NFT podcast every Wednesdays at 7 UTC. New episodes release, and it's a lot of fun. It's just us talking some bullshit, and it's quite what do you say? Just a comfortable vibe.
Yeah.
Fantasy talk, sci-fi talk. We do reviews of particular series, or we've started to, and we want a lot more community engagement. Like, we want to hear about your thoughts on certain shows. You know, join the Discord. Just fucking be with us. Be with us, and yeah, just it's a good time. So check out, and it's funny, and yeah, that's it. That's it.
I don't know why they banned me from it. I've never even been on it.
Yeah, and we never want you on it. It's just a bad vibe. You know, you're Jason's boss. We just kind of have that. You'll be awkward around you, you know. So,
but I told you I can bring special equiment.
And I said that's for a different podcast.
No, but
okay,
I mean,
I'm almost.
We would certainly have you on though. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, I've petitioned Jason already. I had a fun idea to bring on, so
excellent.
Yeah, nothing business related, just purely fun and entertainment.
Cool.
All right.
I look forward.
We're almost ready. I promise.
Oh, speaking of fun and entertainment, I will drop that we have officially hired a professional cosplayer for Heroes and Villains to do our news updates starting in February. And, you know, we're going to see what she does, but let's just say she's one of the best in the business. And, you know, we're talking her into trying to perhaps make some costumes of some of our characters and actually use them. So it's pretty cool. And we're excited to seeing how she delivers the news.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. Actually, I've seen the email that you sent, and I forgot to answer. You know my ways, but I checked her out on Facebook and Twitch, and yeah, also,
yeah. Don't reveal her. We're keeping her a secret, but
yeah, cool.
Yeah,
our lips are sealed, but yeah, no, it's wicked. That's going to be cool.
Okay, I'm almost there. I'm almost at the point where I can share my screen again and get this taken care of, and reevaluate some of my life choices.
I'm looking at Hurley 8 TV. The look of concern on Penguin's face.
Yes, a look Hurley is all too familiar with. Hurley is the alter ego of Wilson Fisk. Not to blow up your spot, Hurley, but
oh shit.
Also, the avatar is a piece of Canadian artwork here. Let's see if I can bring it up. Oh, that was a dumb idea. Well, this giveaway is going to be more than worth it, you guys. I tell you, I know it's going to take another 45 minutes or so to get there, but it is going to be worth it.
It would be great if your orange in the background just started aging and decaying as we wait.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit close to that rotten as
nearly fresh.
As close to nearly fresh. All right, let's go. Come on. I just need you to do one more thing, and then I can throw you in the garbage.
Actually, Ross, why don't you have a rotten fruit segment, or not so fresh, where you actually talk about the projects you guys disapprove for the week?
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Well, lately we've been all about
should be projects that deserve it, not
True.
Lately we've been all about disapproving anything that's not doxed.
Yeah, pretty much, or any rugs. But it's almost like you don't want to bring attention to it,
them.
Then they get more fucking media or whatever. But I don't know. We'll see. It's cool. I like that idea.
All right.
Rotten topics.
So yes, thank you very much to Viz. I was able to get the list, the mask under the mask, and I assume you can see it. I'm going to hit play. We'll see what happens.
I will not call out a winner this time.
Oh, Don Doodle's possibly about to explode and take quite a few people with him, including our previous winner, Dirty Hamburger, which is okay because it, you know, you can't get you two free origins. That would be crazy.
Well, I picked one in my mind. I won't say who it is, but they're still alive.
Yeah, same here. I'm actually looking at Stone's Rabbit. I don't care. I'll say it. Oh, fuck. He died. I'm sorry. The curse is true.
The curse is true.
My choice is still in there. So.
Oh, shit. All right, I'm looking at Dancy Polly now. My boy.
That was mine.
Oh, really?
Dance, Polly, dance. Well, at some point, you'd think someone's going to get killed. Oh, there we go. It had been a while.
God damn. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, God damn. That was intense.
Wow, it was intense. All right. Congratulations to Medina, JPMM 21 on the HV Origins NFT. All right. I was seriously considering finding the Log Drivers Waltz video and playing it to end off the program, but I realized I probably do not need to gift LeftHouse a copyright strike, so it's also going to take me far too long to load the end video. It's going to take longer than the actual end video is. So all I'm going to say is thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much, Keith Various. Thanks for keeping me company and having a really great discussion about everything we talked about today. NFTs.
Yeah, thank you for hosting. Thanks to our usual hosts as well, of course, LeftHouse. And it's been a long time since I've been on the show. We've been so busy. So it's kind of like my reward to myself to have fun and have a break.
That's right. And
now we dive back in. And then, it wasn't so bad. Ross wasn't there the whole time, so it was better.
Yes, thanks to me.
Thanks to Ross. If you enjoyed the obvious chemistry between Ross and I, make sure you check out our Nearly Fresh Topics podcast. And with that, except this isn't going to line up because I'm going to hit end broadcast and it's going to take a minute for it to actually do it. But with that, as we always do, we bid you adieu.
Farewell.
We are possibly still on.
Oh, well.
I've definitely hit end broadcast. Oh, we've got pinwheeling. Tough to say. Oh, no, we got. Okay, here we